Hi guys, it's Miss Patrick, and today we're going to be talking about point of view and what does it mean, or what are the different kinds of points of view. Okay, so we're just going to start off with definitions about point of view and what a narrator is. Point of view is the perspective or view from which the narrator tells the story. This just means figuring out who is telling the story. And just remember, perspective just means view. You can figure that out because there's a comma, the word or, and then the word view behind it. So it's letting you know that perspective and view are synonyms for each other. Okay? The narrator is the person or character who is telling the story. So the narrator is actually the person who is giving you that story. And believe it or not, it can be someone that's in the story, and it can also be a character that is not in the story. But we're getting ready to learn more about that. Okay. The first point of view that we're going to be talking about is first person point of view. Okay. So a good definition for it would be a character in the story is telling the story from his or her point of view. That means somebody in the story is actually telling you the story. And there are a few clues that you can look for in order to make sure that it's first person. Okay. Some of the words you could look for: I, me, we, and us. And these are words that I would use if I were telling a story. I went to the mall yesterday. I saw all my friends there. We went and had lunch at the food court. That lets you know I am actually telling you this story. And here's an example down at the bottom. Today is my first day at a new school. I have had butterflies in my stomach all morning. I hope the other kids like me. Okay, so let's go through and find some key words. Okay, today is my first day at a new school. My is a key word. It lets me know that I am telling you the story about my first day. I have had butterflies in my stomach all morning. I used the word I, and I also used it to describe the stomach. It is my stomach. I hope that other kids like me. I have again used the word I and the word me. Those key words let me know that I am actually the person that is telling the story. Okay, so let's move on. The next point of view that we are going to be talking about is third person point of view. You might say, where's second? But we don't use second that much, so we're actually not going to be talking about it this week. Third person point of view. Okay, a good definition for it would be a person not involved in the actual story is telling the story, including the thinking and actions of all characters. That means somebody not in the story is telling you the story. But this person that's not in the story is able to get all the juicy details from every single character. Tells you all the different characters' thinking and all the different characters' actions. So you get to see it from outside of the story. When I'm reading a third person point of view story or novel or book, I always think kind of like I'm able to look in through a window and see everything that's going on in the story. Whereas if I'm talking about a first person point of view, I'm only able to tell you what I see in the story. Okay? Clue words you can look for include he, she, it, they, and them. So a good way to tell if it's third person is going to use the words he, she, it, they, and them in order to tell the story. He went to the movies last night. While he was there, he met his friends. They all went and had popcorn. That's a good example. Okay, so our example that we're going to try and find key words in is the kids were excited about their first field trip. They were visiting the beach. Jack was really looking forward to seeing the shells on the beach. He could hardly wait. Okay, so we're going to circle some key words. Okay, and the first key word I see is they. Okay, that lets me know that none of them are actually telling the story. That I am actually the person that is standing back and watching what's going on, and I'm able to tell you the story. Okay, I also see, sometimes you can look and see the different characters' names as a good clue to you. And I also see the word he. That lets me know that even though our story is about Jack, that he's not actually telling our story. I'm the person standing back, looking in the window, and telling you exactly what's going on in that story. Okay? thing we're going to look at is a nice little review slide for us. I've made a T-chart. I've got first person on this side, third person on this side, and it's a good way to compare the two. Okay, so in a first person, it's told by one character in the story. That character is in the story. They're not outside. They're telling you exactly what they see, think, and hear. But it only comes from what they see, think, or hear. You don't get any point of view from any other character other than the person that's telling the story. Okay? And the third person is told by someone outside of the story. You get all the juicy details about what's going on in every single character. Okay? And the different clue words. Uses words like I, me, we, and us for first person. Then for third person, you would use words like he, she, it, they, or them. And that's all I've got for today. We'll be working on it later this week. See you later.